I don't have like that many pieces to show. Like you can see like the the chalice there.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
um
Grogu, what up, bro?
yeah, Grogu, man, I have so many, like some interesting theories about Grogu. I was talking about this with a friend the other night. Like, can we talk about this for a second?
Yeah, yeah, let's do it. I mean, I definitely have a bunch of questions to ask you about Star Wars, but we'll do it later. I have a whole thing that I want to do with you.
So this is like a crazy theory that I had. You know, I mean, there's so many like crazy things that have been happening lately with like Disney and, you know, like the big announcement that they did yesterday. It's like, we're not gonna just bring one show, we're gonna bring like 10 like new shows or something. It's like they
Yeah,
want
it's
like a lot.
crazy.
um yeah, like what do you, how do you feel about that? What do you think?
So I actually have like my thoughts about it are like I'm super excited about all the shows, and like the Rogue Squadron movie I think will be really cool. I think all of the movies that have been away from the trilogy have been the best movies, like
Right,
Solo,
like
Rogue
Rogue
One.
and yeah.
So I think that like I'm excited for the movie being a one-off, and I like the shows as well. But I think the thing where I'm like most let down is how inside the box they're staying with like I'm not mad at it, but I'd really like to get outside of this era of Star Wars, like outside of the Skywalker era,
Right, like
because they're
move
just
on.
staying inside of it, and there's so much more. Like we know there's so much more. And they're the one show that they're doing it with though is the one that's kind of about like the Sith. It's called The Acolyte,
Hmm.
and that's supposed to take place, I think, like 30 to 50 years prior to the first, I guess, like the prequel trilogy, episode 1, 2, and 3. So the Acolyte, I guess, is kind of supposed to focus on like, you know, the dark sides, you know, the dark side of the Force, and just like their power lust, and like that whole mythical magical side of it that they utilize. It's like kind of like leans almost like voodoo-ish, you know, as you know,
Right,
where
right,
like the Jedi are almost more like monkish.
right.
But yeah, so that's my feeling, is that I all Star Wars is good Star Wars to me. Like if it's new Star Wars, it's good Star Wars. There was a point in my life where I
Not
thought I was
picky.
gonna. Yeah, well, I mean, there was a point in my life where I thought I was only gonna have 3 movies, and that was it. You know,
Okay.
and then after that, they re-released those 3, and they put in like a couple extra scenes, and then all of a sudden they decided to do the prequels, and I'm super stoked about that. And at that point, I'm like, think I'm in middle school, maybe middle school, or just got into high school. But yeah, I was so excited about that. Just being like, finally, like I get more of this thing I've always been obsessed with. We might as well just get into it, because we're talking about Star Wars, and then we'll just backtrack back to you being an artist. So I'm born and raised a Star Wars fan.
Right. Grew up with
Like,
it. Same
yeah,
thing.
like my cousin, who I'm actually later on going to be watching, like we do like this Zoom call together, and we just talk about the Mandalorian, and then we get off, watch the
You watched
Mandalorian,
it, yeah.
and we get back on and talk about it after. You know, him, his brother, and then their father is my godfather. I just have known them since I was a baby, basically, and they've always loved it. And I just was raised on it because of seeing them. And I think my parents just kind of egged me on, because if their best friends' kids love it so much, and you know their best friends love it so much, then it must be okay for me to like it. So they've just been egging me on, and so that's my whole, like, my life is like all Star Wars because of that.
How many lightsabers do you go through?
Ooh, I
Like, do you have
have
any
3.
siblings? Do you have any siblings?
I have 2 older sisters.
Okay, 2 older sisters. Okay.
Yeah.
Did you play lightsabers with them? Because I did with my brother.
No, I don't think that they were more open with me bringing like a couple action figures in to play Barbies with them than they were. Like, I was more the play toy for them than they were for me. So I was the one that ended up with makeup on me. I was the one that like ended up being dressed up and stuff like that. Like, I'm admitting this on a podcast. Jesus. Okay. So yeah,
I feel like older sisters, we do that to our like younger brothers. You know, it's kind of
is
like
your
a social
brother
experiment.
older?
Younger. So I'm like, so I like totally relate to your sisters. You know,
yeah, I feel his pain.
Like Jorge, his name is Jorge. It's like, you know, you're gonna bring this and this toy, and when they come to play with the Barbies, like they're gonna say this and this line. I had like the whole thing like planned out. So it was like so funny. But one time, like my dad, he brought us like lightsabers that he brought from like a travel to New York. I mean, we destroyed those things in like 2 minutes.
Now I'm the opposite. I'm not a collector, but like I have a lot of stuff. Like, people buy me stuff because it's like low hanging fruit, you know, like they think of me, they think of Star Wars when there's a gift giving opportunity, like it's a Star Wars gift. I'm like, you know, I'm 36 now, and I am positive for Christmas I'm going to get a bunch of stuff that's like meant for like, you know, a 10-year-old. But I'm not.
Like you have like a room like filled with Star Wars.
I do. I have a shelf right over there that's all Star Wars stuff. I have boxes in my closet that I haven't even unpacked. Like, when I finally buy my own place, I'm definitely going to have like a Star Wars room. And I have a lot of art. Like, if we went into like my other room, I have a lot of art and stuff over there that's all Star Wars. I mean, there's art here. I have like this Banksy knockoff that has like an AT-AT and an AT-ST like looking at each other, and it says, "I am your father." And then there's like a episode 4 poster of A New Hope on like a block of wood.
Well, what's your favorite?
I think my favorite is Return of the Jedi. I think it just kind of has a little bit of everything. What about yours?
Mm-hmm. I mean, I was like real little when like Phantom Menace came in, so I kind of like, I don't know, it kind of like stuck with me.
Yeah.
So for that like nostalgic reason alone, I do like that. Looking back though, I'm not sure, like, you know, it was like great acting, but I think the storyline is like so nice.
So. I mean, The Phantom Menace is not a terrible movie. It takes a lot of flack, but yeah, the acting is pretty bad. The kid who plays Anakin is it's a bummer. I know he gets bullied now, like as an adult. He definitely like had some issues in high school and stuff like that. There's been stories written about it, but yeah, he wasn't amazing, but there's so many good parts to it. Like I feel like people always forget about like how amazing the pod race was the first time you saw it.
Do you play the video game too?
That original one on like N64 or whatever.
Yep.
Yeah, and then like seeing Darth Maul for the first time, and like whenever he finally lights both sides of the lightsaber, and you're like, oh. Like, just all Star Wars fans are just losing their mind. Like, 2 blades. There's 2.
There can be 2.
Yeah, and then you know the fight, like that fight scene where it's Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan against Darth Maul, and just like you've never seen a fight scene like that with lightsabers, because you know in the earlier Star Wars movies, they just didn't have that good of choreography, but like it was usually Luke versus whoever. But it was like Luke versus Darth Vader in well, I guess that only happens twice, right? Empire and Return, but that Obi-Wan fight with Darth Vader is like real nothing. You know, they're just like meh, like they're not like really doing much anything. It's not very impressive. And it, you know, it just shows like that's just the the signs of the time, right? That was in the 70s, so they didn't really know what they were doing as far as making that realistic. Working on a budget already.
Now with the whole Disney thing, I mean, they pretty much have like an endless budget.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Do whatever.
They have a Scrooge
Mickey
McDucky and Bunny bin.
Right. I think when I saw the thing today, I was like, holy cow. Like yesterday, I mean, all of the shows, like I knew there was going to be like an Ahsoka one for sure. But now there is like all of this. I do have like some like, first, like, you know, always like quality over quantity. So I hope that they're all like good. You know, I hope that like they don't ruin it. And yeah, I mean, let's see, like, when is the first one like coming up?
I got to be honest, I'm not 100% sure about the start dates. I just kind of I'm so busy now. I didn't even get to like watch it. I just kind of read the updates as they were coming out, and just to see like what they were. But yeah, so I'm not 100% sure when the release dates are. But like there's just some things that I'm not concerned about, like the spin-off of the Clone. Did you watch the Clone Wars cartoon?
I watched like a little bit of it. I didn't watch the whole thing. I kind of like started and then sort of stopped because I had like too much going on. But I do want to watch the whole thing.
Yeah, you're gonna
no matter what, I want to like watch the whole thing. There are a lot of things that I have like on my list. There's like so much to like watch, and one lifetime is not enough.
I know. Honestly, I get lucky because, well, I don't know if you call it lucky, but like, so I do most of this side. I shouldn't even call it my side job. It's really like my main focus. Like my 9 to 5, I would call more my side job. It just pays the bills, and
my
this
hustle.
is like, yeah. But I do. It's all from home. So you know, for the longest time, I just grab my laptop and park myself on the couch and be doing what I needed to do on my laptop, and then I just have all this stuff playing on the TV in the background. So like, I'm a pretty good like audible absorber. So like I can not necessarily be like watching everything, but I'll be able to absorb, you know, the gist of it. So it's kind of how I've been able to keep up with all this stuff so well. But you know, in the new release of shows that they just dumped, they talked about the Bad Batch, which is a spinoff of the Clone Wars. And if you make it all the way to the end, there's a couple episodes where they introduce the Bad Batch, and it's awesome. They are so cool. They're such a cool group. So, and it's going to be, you know, Dave Filoni, who's done all the cartoons, and he's done a couple episodes of The Mandalorian. He's actually one of the X-Wing pilots that's in The Mandalorian. And he's in charge of directing and, you know, and writing and, you know, basically being the show director for the Bad Batch and all the cartoons and whatnot. And it's all, this is so good because of him. Like this second season of The Mandalorian has Dave Filoni all over it. So anything that he's involved with, I'm fine. I like go crazy. Like they should have him as a consultant for everything, like every movie, every whatever. If he's got time for it, stick him in there.